So in this video, I wanted to talk briefly about the Pentel P209 mechanical pencil. This is also known as the Pentel Sharp. It's a pretty popular mechanical pencil. You find it a lot with kind of back to school and stuff like that, where people want a good mechanical pencil, maybe a drafting style pencil, and are looking for a very reasonable price. You could find these in a bunch of different sizes for really affordable prices. I bought two of these in 0.9 millimeter for $5, maybe $5.50 online, shipped. A more typical price might be two of them for like $7 or $8, right around there, depending if you're buying like locally in a big box store. Also, sometimes online you'll see the 0.9 or less desirable sizes ship for lower prices. But anyway, all the details are basically the same, aside from the lead size and the color. So we'll just use this one as an example. So it's called the P209. Most people call it the Pentel Sharp. It's a classic shape, classic feature set mechanical pencil. You can see it has a full plastic body. The body's faceted. So it's not, say, hexagonal, like a Rotring 600 or something like that. There's more shapes. I think it's 12. So it's like dodecahedral or something like that. It's the P209G, 0.9 millimeter. The colors are coordinated, so you won't get this mustard, orange, or yellow, whatever this is, in different sizes. Plastic clip. This is a slip-on style clip, so technically you could move it up or down or remove it entirely. But there is sort of, you could probably just see there's a little notch there. So it's not that easy to move around. It's actually on there fairly well, but you can twist it, you could see. The clip is metal, the body is plastic, top button is just a very thin metal. There's a replaceable eraser here in that sort of standard mechanical pencil eraser type that you might see. And then you could pull that out and you can see it's adjustable. So as you work it down, you open up this little metal piece and you slide it down and you have more eraser. You refill it at that top hole. And that's most of what is happening with this pencil. As you move down, there's a slight grip area. It's the same plastic, but it has some cross lines, cross hatching or lines, whatever you want to call them. So you have a little bit of grip, metal front piece, and a non-retractable pipe. It's an extended pipe. This is a drafting style pencil. You could open this up. And you could see there's that really thick 0.9 millimeter lead, and this piece will slide out entirely. So you can see brass hardware. Let's see if we can zoom in on that. Brass hardware, really nicely made. It's called the clutch. Obviously the spring is metal, but it's a nice firm metal. The barrel, the interior barrel is plastic, but that's not really too much of a downside. And it's kind of all there is to it. It's a very simple mechanism, as are most mechanical pencils. And what you're really looking for here is kind of like that metal hardware, that brass clutch rather, and then how well it's made, and if you could kind of get at some of these parts to clear up any jams. Here, everything's pretty much locked down. It's a pretty simple pencil. It's a pretty big difference from something like a Kuratoga or a Zebra Delgard that we would be looking at on this channel more typically. But like I said, I needed some 0.9 millimeter pencils, and I know a lot of people are interested in these, so I picked them up recently. Feature set is very limited. Has a cap with a standard eraser size, which is nice. Superior construction. I mean, they're made well, but they've made like this forever. It's pretty standard. HB, so that's the lead hardness, and then kind of a standard mechanism that automatically advances lead directly from the chamber, which we'll get into in a minute, and then 0.4 millimeter tip. So that just means it's a longer than standard tip. So the Pentel Sharp has a very simple mechanism. You're just gonna push that top button to extend the lead, and that is pretty much it. Like I said, it's a very simple pencil. And some people like to see how far the lead advances when it's pushed. So let's see if we can get this focused in. It's not always the easiest thing. So 10 advances will get you, that's a 1/2 inch. So it'll get you maybe a little bit more than a 1/4 inch. Mechanism is pretty smooth, no problems with it. Nice click. There's no slop or anything like that. When you press it, it goes straight to the click. So I'd say this click is much better than most, especially cheaper ones. If you go cheaper than this, you're really starting limiting your options. I think this is a really nice entry-level mechanical pencil if you're looking for a non-disposable. So I think this one has really nice click and mechanism. Similar to like a Rotring 300 or something like that. We're looking at a nice mechanical pencil that's pretty much free of any sort of frills or anything like that. So writing, I mean, there's not too much to say with the writing of a mechanical pencil. This is the Pentel Sharp in 0.9 millimeter. I know a lot of people don't really love 0.9 millimeter. It is a little bit wide, and then it also will, you'll have to spin the pencil fairly regularly to maintain a point, so it will wear down a lot. This one does use that lead. I said the super high polymer HB lead, which is, I would say, better than most. In a couple of weeks, I'll be doing a more extensive pencil lead testing, but I'll say just on the whole, the super high polymer HB lead from Pentel is completely fine. Pretty good color. So that's from it being HB. And then it's like the same as a number 2 pencil. So I would say on the whole, the Pentel Sharp is a really nice entry-level mechanical pencil on par with a Rotring 300 and some of the ones in that class. You know, very little as far as metal hardware goes, but there's enough metal that it feels good, and then I really like the nice plastic faceted body, and I really like the classic shape. I don't love the yellow, but it does have a sort of old school feel to it. It is thin, but most of these older pens are quite thin. Here's it next to some other things just for standard as we wrap up. This is a Pentel ball pen, or sorry, Pentel sign pen rather. And here's a Sharpie. You can see it is a lot thinner than those two and a little bit longer, but essentially the same size. Once you take out the top button and the pipe, it's really similar to those. The main thing I would point out is it's quite skinny. So again, just to wrap up, that's the Pentel Sharp. It really is a nice mechanical pencil, and it really is a great deal. Thanks for watching.